Alright, now that we've got that in place, the next thing to do, you've already run the wire from the puck through that side hole in the axle. Now it's time to put that wire out through the center hole in the axle. So it's just a matter of feeding it in. And again, this is more patience than anything else. Just again, take your time. Alright, so now we've got that through. Next thing to do is to remove these two 13mm bolts. And this is going to provide the mount for the other half of the puck. Okay, this is the unit that goes on the other side, and you can see how there's 4 brushes. This gives you redundancy of contact, and then you'll also see that there's a wave spring on the back of this unit. A little tough to see from this video, but Andy's trying to show it to us there. That gives you the compression to make sure that those brushes are in contact with the receiver plate on the axle. It's pretty simple. You don't have to worry about any adjustments or anything. Now, put the supplied bolts and spacers through the unit as you see we're doing here. And then this will mount where the other bolts just came out of. Alright, you can see that's pretty simple. We're just going to tighten these up. Although you don't see us doing it here for the sake of just getting this down as quick as we can, make sure you use Loctite on everything. Check it, make sure everything spins good. And now we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now the next thing is to run this wire so that you make sure it has enough slack for the wheel to turn. And actually the easiest place to do it is right along the brake line. A couple of zip ties. A little difficult to see here, but it'll be easier once it's actually installed. Now you can see we can also turn the wheel so that there's no slack, or the slack moves with it, so that there's at no point where that wire will get tight and pull. So that's an important thing to pay attention to. Again, you can just follow the brake line up into the bike and to a power point. Okay, you can see that we put on a couple of connectors, quick connectors. You can pick these up at Radio Shack, any hobby shop or small electrical supply. This is so that when you have to remove the wheel to have the tire changed, that it's nice and easy to get to. So if you've got a pair of quick connects on this side, again, here you see a group of wires, and you see that we ran these wires internally. You can do it externally, but again, same thing applies. Put the quick connects on there. Okay, now all the wire that you're receiving with your kit is plenty long for everything you need to do. So once we've got the wire run through the center of the axle, we've cut it back so that it's about 6 inches long, and you can see we've attached the mates to the quick disconnects that are on the wheel. The wire is marked positive and negative, red and black, and a little trick that you may want to use is that you alternate the male and the female, so that when you do take it apart and put it back together, you really can't wire it wrong. Okay, we've got the wheel mounted back on the bike, and you can see what we were talking about earlier about where the hole is in the wheel and the wires coming through to make sure you clear the axle flange. And also you've got the wire coming through the center of the axle with the 2 quick connects on here. So now just plug them together. Put them inside, and then put your cap back in place. And now, if you hit the button, everything should work just great. There you go. There's your wheel light kit. Give it a spin, make sure everything clears. Here's a big part. Make sure all your wires clear anything that they might touch. One of the key things to look at here that we actually didn't show too clearly is where the orange and red LED strips are on the inside of the wheel, and where they have to clear the brake as they come around. So just keep an eye on that when you do your installation. Again, test everything 3 times before you take it out on the road. Now we'll move along to the back wheel, which is a little bit more difficult. A lot of you guys can just do this front wheel installation. You'll get a heck of an effect. And if you want, you do the back wheel, match it all up. That one's a little bit more work. We'll get to that in just a second.